We're live.
Yay! Hi
Live.
everyone, welcome to K-Drama Hangout, your weekly review into your favorite Korean dramas episode by episode. I'm Melody, and with me I have Kat and Sarai.
Yay.
So today we're going to continue reviewing Scholar Who Walks the Night, also known as Pamu Gonun Sombi, episode 15 and 16, which means we only have two more review episodes left until the grand finale.
Woo!
Okay, so if you've missed our reviews on episode 13 and 14, please check out the link in the description box below. We'll have it there for you.
Hey, so in episode 15, Youngsun nurses Sanya back to health in his hideout house that is in a very small city. One of the families that lives close to his house and knows about Sanya helped Youngsun by providing cow blood for him to drink. So when Bree started to enforce his control of the plants, his first order of business was to have the youngest daughter of every family be brought to the Gising house to be made presentable for him at the palace. So Youngsun overhears a conversation between Sunjuro and Soo-kyung, revealing that she was the last key to kill Glee. So after overhearing this conversation, she decides to surrender herself and place as the daughter of the family that had been helping her. In episode 16, though, we discover that Youngsun really isn't the matrilineal lineage that they've been looking for, because Lee had killed her mother years before and was still living. But Youngsun doesn't know this, even though everyone else does. So she continues to sacrifice herself to Glee. So meanwhile, the prince and Sanya have teamed up again to try and find a way to save her, as well as a way to kill Glee without sacrificing anyone else. So from these two episodes, what were your OMG moments?
My first OMG moment, I don't know if it was really an OMG moment, but straight off the bat in episode 15, he's already been like running through the sun without his cloak or whatever, and then he fights all these people without his cloak, and then he's able to get away, and he's able to like still run at like super speed in broad daylight after he's been baking for like all morning long, and I straight up was just like, what the heck? How is he running like that right now? So, and then at one point after they get in like the shed or whatever, before the helper comes and tells her to take him to that village out, the helper woman comes and is like, have you been with him, blah blah, and she's like, yeah, I brought him here, whatever. And so she goes and she checks his pulse and she listens for air coming out of his nose, and I'm like, he's a vampire. He doesn't have a pulse, and he doesn't breathe. Like, why are we doing this right now? I was straight up like, oh, what the heck? Oh my goodness. But that was just like, that was very distracting to me. Those, I guess, flukes, which, quite often I can just take them for what they are because I know it's drama. You know, it's in the script. It's all in the script, okay? That's all I have to know. But that was really distracting for me, those couple of little flukes.
Yeah, I had script issues too. I guess it's kind of where my OMG moments are, because it was kind of like not, oh my gosh, it was more like, really? Oh, really?
Yeah,
Like,
it was really like,
why?
yeah, really?
And more of mine were in episode 16. Like, I was upset because they killed off the counselor guy, like, what's his name? Hakyoung? Hakyoung killed him, which was like, he said, okay, you have to take care of the prince now, but then now he can't take care of the prince anymore. He's dead. So I'm just like, why did he die? Like, there was no
What
need for
council are you
him
talking
to
about?
16. The Hakyeon, the best friend of the prince, chose his grandfather, who was the counselor that was supposed to watch over.
Oh, we skipped to X 16. Okay, okay, okay. I thought she was still talking about episode 15, and I
die.
was
Oh,
like,
no, no, no.
I don't
I
remember
said, I
somebody.
said, all my like script moments,
Yeah,
problems were in episode 16. Well, most,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, and it was because of that, because he died, and I'm just like, what? Like, why did he die? There was no point in him dying. First of all, he didn't even do anything while he was supposed to be taking care of the prince. I was very upset about that. I'm like, if you're going to keep a character on, at least give them some substantial worth to do
Yeah.
something. You know, and then he just died without accomplishing anything, and I felt really deprived.
I was happy that the grandson died in his right mind, which I assumed that the reason he came to his senses was that maybe it had been so long that he fed on blood. Because Gui said something about you have to wait 12 hours to feed on blood or something like that. I don't know. I just assumed that it was because he waited so long, he hadn't fed on human blood in so long, and he saw the prince's face and just finally remembered his past, and he came back to his senses. I mean, I'm okay with that, Fluke, because I had a really soft spot for that, for the friend.
We all know you did.
I was super crushing. Oh my goodness. And then he went and turned into a vampire. And so whenever he like died in his right mind, I was like, oh, thank you. Like whenever he said, you know, kill me, just please kill me. And I was like, yes, you can talk, like you can think. This makes me happy. So I was glad that he died like that.
That was one of my Auntie moments as well. But I think it, like how I took it, it wasn't really a sleep. It was more, he was still evil. Like he was still trying to feed on his grandfather because, like what you said about the 12 hours, we were saying that in order to remain, like to stay human, like to keep your humanity, you can't feed on a human being for 12 hours. But
Um,
Young did. He kept feeding and he kept feeding, but all of a sudden, whenever he was feeding on his grandfather kept pleading to Young. He kept saying his name and stuff like that. And so eventually, like he like he reached out to like the small remaining bit of his humanity, kind of like Beauty and the Beast. Like you know how like she falls in love and she kisses him, and like the small bit of humanity, different drama. Like you get the idea. Like he had like
yeah.
a small bit of like humanity left in him, and his grandfather brought that out. That
Yeah,
was,
that's what I felt.
and then also one of my other OMG moments was in episode 16, and it was when at the very end when Youngsun is like in front of Z or whatever, and he realizes that she already has vampire blood in her.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was a cool scene.
But then I was thinking, like, her flashback though isn't to when Sungyeon saved her. It's when her father bit her. And so then I'm thinking, maybe, like, she's always had a vampire, but because Sungyeon, I just assumed that she didn't, or whatever, like, that's why he started using his own blood to, like, start healing her and saving her and stuff. Maybe, like, she's the vampire, like she'll become the vampire will, and maybe Sungyeon really is Glee's son.
Yeah, that's true. I have another random OMG moment. That's because I spent high school in tech theater, so I did all the like set building and scene changes and all that good stuff. So they were in the cave of Glee at one point, and I was like, dang, this is a really good set building. Like, I'm just impressed with it. Like, I'm thinking about it, and it's like a lot of this. I feel like, I mean, I've never shot a drama in Korea, but I feel like a lot of the like town scenes, there's still a lot of traditional towns in Korea. So that's like, it's not necessarily a set that has to be built in a studio, you know. But that cave, clearly, you can't just take all your stuff down underground. So that's clearly a set that they built. And so I was like, I really like this. Like I was going back to my tech theater days. I was excited about it.
I have one more thing to say about OMG moments. Last week, I was really annoyed by the prince. This week, he redeemed himself, like, in my book. He was annoying at first, but then he redeemed himself by being like the Black Garb clan. and doing all that stuff, I
Yeah.
was really, really happy. I was like, yes, you have come back. You've come back. You understand now. Um, so I'm a little bit more excited about what's going on. And now that they've teamed up together, like him and
Yes.
Phil, I'm so excited about that too.
I also had another problem with a fluke about him being a vampire because at one point, after Samuel realizes that she's got the blood or whatever that kills Gui, um, she leaves while he's sleeping. But again, he's a vampire. Vampires don't sleep, so I don't know
But
why she had the
there
chance to leave while he was
always
sleeping.
with him being a vampire because she felt his heartbeat before.
Yeah, but it
And
hasn't continued beating, I didn't think.
vampires don't have heartbeats, and they both felt it. So I don't know. I
I
think
know that's part of what I thought too, like, because that's part of what has played into my thought that he would become human eventually. Like, I don't know if y'all watched Warm Bodies, an American movie, um,
Hmm.
but that's kind of what the feeling that I get, that her love is gonna reboot his heart. Um, but and so that's what I thought that was, like his heart starting to reboot. But I didn't think that it had continued going, you know. But yeah.
So when recording Korean dramas like this, the director usually calls out a good take by saying print or a bad take by saying NG or no good. So what would you guys give these two episodes?
I think I would give 15 an NG and 16 a print. 15 seemed really slow, and they were mostly just in the building, and she's watching over him. I feel like more of the like progression happened in episode 16.
I totally agree. I give 15 an NG right off the bat. I was watching 15 and I'm just like, can we move on? I'm just like, okay, he needs to be healed. Okay, all this stuff is happening, but can we just get to, 16? What happened in 16? I
Yeah.
wanted to get there already. I was bored. So I'm giving 15 definitely an NG. 16 had really good progression. It was where I wanted to be with the story, and can't wait to see 17, so print, definitely print.
Yes.
for me, I do agree. 15 was really horribly slow, and it kind of drove me insane. However, I think I'm giving it a prep because even though it was slow, you kind of got to see how, like, it was kind of how Youngsun slowly started to realize that Songyo truly is different. Like, he's been helping people. He saved the daughter of the family, and, like, so it was just kind of showing her that she really does still love him, even though he is a vampire, because he isn't Glee. He's the exact opposite of Glee. Even though in that moment that she realized, like, and saw him in that mode, he was just like Glee. Like, she slowly started realizing that he's helping people and he's not like a bad guy or whatever.
Yeah.
However, it was really, really slow, and I really, really hated it until like the very end when she left, and then he like waited all night and all day for her, and then I was like, "You're stupid." But
Yeah.
after that, so I give that one a print only because it kind of just like shows more of the story of the fact that he really is a caring vampire.
Yeah.
Um, and then 16 is definitely a print for me because I mean it's an action-packed episode and everything is kind of like really re-revealed as what we thought was true, like what was happening wasn't happening, and so now like you're back on the edge of your seat trying to figure out what's gonna happen. So I give both of them a print.
So, as we're drawing closer to the end, I'm wondering if we got any predictions for the final episodes coming up. Who wants to go? Melody?
Um, I don't know. Maybe I'm second guessing myself. I kind of feel like Sohang, the woman helper, maybe she's the mother lineage.
How so?
I
I don't know. I just feel like she has played such a role in the last few episodes that her I don't know. I feel like her role is more important than what we realize because she's been so prominent in like what am I trying to say? Deceiving Gui in the last few episodes. So, and she says at one point, I don't know, maybe, well, no, because we already decided that oh gosh, I'm getting names all sorts of mixed up right now. We already decided that Homie is the vampire hunter. Sunyo is the vampire hunter. So I feel like she might be the mother lineage, and she's telling. I don't think she realizes that yet either. But she said at some point at in the end of the episode she's trying to. I feel like she's just trying to buy time for Sunil to come and save Young Sun. So she tells Gui, you know, I've served you and I've come to admire the life of a vampire. Could you please turn me to a vampire so that I can serve you forever more? Blah blah blah. Maybe that's when he gets injured or something. I don't know. Whenever he starts to turn her into a vampire.
I
Yeah.
actually had the same thought. I thought she was the matrilineal lineage, but I thought the new guy that came up, the one that was originally trying to kill Songyur, became the vampire hunter. I felt like he was gonna be the vampire hunter, and then she was the matrilineal line, and then the king. But then I also felt Songyur was like mixed in with all of them, so I don't know anymore.
I still think Yang Song is the maternal lineage. The only thing is that we don't use her in the way that we would think. Like, I think there's another way that she has to be used along with Sanyol in order to kill Gui. So I still think she's prevalent in the story, and I still think she's part of the part of the parts to kill Gui. So I'm still sticking with that. I'm not going anywhere. I don't think it's anybody else. I think it's her.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what I want to happen in these two episodes, but I have this feeling that because Gui knows she was bit by a vampire already, like that is an important and crucial part. And I don't know exactly how important it is. I'm thinking it's way more important than I'm thinking. So I think it also has to play in with something. That's one thing.
I think so too because now he knows she was bit by a vampire. That she was bit by a vampire at one point. And still, I feel like we still haven't figured out why she was being concealed as a boy. Maybe that does. Maybe it is that she is still part of the maternal lineage. But I feel like at some point Gui's gonna piece it together that she is the daughter of the council to the prince a long time ago. So, yeah.
We'll see.
I know. We're close.
I know, we're almost done. Well, you guys, that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, okay? If you ever want to follow any of the reviewers, our links will be down in the description box below. Coming out with us next week as we review episodes 17 and 18, our like semi-finale episode. One review episode away from the finale. So come hang out with us, guys. Until then, keep it dramatic. Bye.
Bye. Make sure to share.
Sharing is caring.